Hello again, Randall Tausig, Blue Core Leadership. Welcome to another episode of Leadership Lessons from the Cockpit. Today we're going to talk about the importance of the discipline of having an annual reset with the leadership team. A couple days off-site, looking back, looking forward, being real about obstacles, roles and responsibilities, what you can accomplish. It's very energizing. We do the same thing in the cockpit. By law, we must have an annual inspection, detailed inspection of the airplane, so those things that need to be fixed and tweaked are ready for a very safe flight in the upcoming year. They both come together. Look forward to having this conversation with you in the cockpit. See you soon. All right, welcome back to the cockpit. And we've just taken off from Florida. We're going to Virginia. And I wanted to talk to you more about this concept, this legal requirement with the airplane to get an annual inspection, which is actually very extensive, very expensive. But they do this every year, and we must by law do this because it is a thorough check on the airplane, the engine, the airframe, the avionics, making sure that everything is within specifications and legal. And as I said, if we don't get it once every year, we can't legally fly this airplane. I'm doing mine now in Virginia. I usually do it in Florida with folks that have been doing it for quite a while. They've known my airplane for a while. It's like going to a doctor, and that doctor knows you. But we're going to some new people who know the airplane but have never done an annual. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a moment. But I'm going to suggest you take this same concept. We can take this concept, and in fact, we do it with our businesses every year, stepping back, typically off-site for 2 days to work on the business. Annual planning session. It's the plan for the upcoming year. It's to step back and look at what are the top priorities, why are the top priorities, how are we doing in moving towards reaching our vision, what are some things that need attention, that need to be resolved. We look at it from a strategic standpoint as well as a tactical standpoint. And I'm going to suggest that even though it's not a legal requirement, that perhaps you may want to put this in your bylaws. That you actually say as a company, you must have an annual planning session with your leadership team. It will make sure that you all are on the same page and that you are proactively looking forward to the following year that's going to build momentum. The other thing about this is that it does just that. It creates momentum. It's proactive. Even if you've got a lot of things going on in the business that need attention now, and a lot of times you want to get things done before the end of the year to kind of finish the year strong, that's great. You also have to step back and say, how are we setting ourselves up proactively for the upcoming year? It's a great discipline, and I'm suggesting that you take that on with your business. So I want to go back to this concept of me being required to do my annual in Virginia now versus Florida. That was just a timing thing. And if I'm going to be legal by the end of this month, I've got to get it done in Virginia. I would like to say that in a way there's a positive there because the folks who are going to do this annual in Virginia, they're not as familiar with my airplane. And because of that, I think that they may see some things that my guys in Florida wouldn't. Not because they're not competent, it's just because they're so familiar with their airplane. They may not see some things because they're not as aware. They're more comfortable with where my airplane is in terms of its maintenance cycle. And so this could be a good thing because they could see something that's important that therefore would have gone unseen potentially if it was done with people that are just very familiar with it. I'm going to encourage you to think about that the same way with your leadership team. When you get a new member of your leadership team, especially if they're going to join you at an annual, they're going to be a little bit naive. They're going to ask questions that maybe are obvious to you. They may have observations that you wouldn't have. And I'm going to suggest just be open, listen to them, ask questions, probe, and try to understand their perspective because you may see some things about your business that you and the rest of your team has not seen because you're very familiar with it. It's the same concept. So we've got a few takeaways. The first takeaway is make your annual planning sessions mandatory. Make it a mandatory discipline, just like we do with having to legally do an annual inspection on this aircraft. It's going to set you up for success in the next year. The second thing is it is a proactive way to run your business. So it's forcing you to be proactive even when sometimes you've got to react to some issues and things that need to be solved in your business. So this is a proactive approach to make sure you're really on path, just like it's proactive for us to make sure this airplane is in great shape. And the last thing is it just builds confidence, momentum, excitement about what to look forward to in the new year. It gets you thinking from a fresh standpoint. And it's the same here in the cockpit. We get into an airplane that's gone through a thorough annual. We've got confidence that it's going to be in great shape, and we're going to make sure that we keep it in great shape so it keeps us and our passengers safe as we fly to our destination. Well, I want to thank you for joining me for another leadership lesson in the cockpit. As always, we love your comments, your questions, your experiences. Please give us feedback and dialogue via the YouTube channel and Facebook and LinkedIn, anywhere that you are seeing this. And we would love to hear your comments. And as always, look forward to seeing you next time in the cockpit for another leadership lesson from the cockpit. Take care.
07 Charlie Delta, left turn near discretion, Alpha to the ramp, my frequency. Have a great night.
Okay, left turn here, Alpha to the ramp will stay with you. You have a good night as well. Thanks.